Turn that thing on. All right. Welcome, everybody, to our July 11th, 2024 regular town board meeting. At this point, I'd like to ask you to please rise. Pledge
Pledge allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, gentlemen, the minutes of previous meeting, July 13th.
Make a motion to approve. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Report by elected officials and department heads. Rebecca, our town clerk.
Town clerk report for the month of June. Income that will be remitted to the supervisor's office is $13,643.14. In rounded amounts, $3,779 is coming from recycling sales, including $936 sold from the office, $2,843 sold from the center, $1,500 in rental fees, which is 8 community center reservations and 1 pavilion, $362 in dog licenses, which is 7 original licenses, 49 renewals, and $9,063.50 from miscellaneous fees. That includes $337.50 from vital statistics, $1,000 from haulers permits, $50 junkyard annual permit, $7,750 from summer youth program, and $13.50 from bingo proceeds. $100.49 is our commission from $2,707.51 in DEC sales. I don't really have too much to report on for our office because summer camp registration was over, camp began. Beach is officially open every day, 10 to 8. The next water treatment dates are August 1st and August 22nd. The beach and park will be closed on those days. And summer concerts have been a hit. They're every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8 at Keys Lane. Cancellations will be posted on the website and on our Town of Brunswick Facebook page. And I just hope everyone has a lovely summer. Try to stay cool.
Thank you. Entertain a motion for the town clerk report. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our highway department, Mr. Bailey's on vacation. Highway still operating. He's doing. Water department, Mr. Bradley.
What is it?
The gain on that.
Do you know where I don't know anything about the audio equipment. I'm sorry. Right foot. Yeah, it was really bad during our public hearing. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Let's see. Okay.
All right. Water and sewer report for June 2024. We completed our meter reading for the August billing period. We're currently rechecking the high reads and the missed reads and installing new water meters. We did about 70 meters in the last 2 weeks. A lot of those were, they stopped occasionally, or you just can't get a signal from them. So those are the ones we prioritize to take care of first. I've assisted the building department in review of several proposed subdivision applications. Worked with the LaBerge Group to review bids received for their Highland Creek water main replacement. I believe we're ready to award that. I had conversations today with the engineering firm, and I think we've worked through some issues. I'm hiring a service firm to do some leak detection, and they're going to bring a dog. They have specially trained dogs
Okay.
to that can sniff out chlorine. So as part of that, we're actually going to raise the chlorine residual in the system. I've asked Ahmed to put a notice on the website and everything else because there'll be a stronger taste and smell of chlorine in the system for a few days. So that should help us. I know that we have a leak I've not been able to narrow down on the 16-inch main over the H Road. And there's several other locations. So it's just a concrete road, a busy highway and everything else. Acoustics has not worked over there. So we're going to hopefully the dog will be able to identify.
Be careful, Bill. All these years I relied on you to do this.
Well,
I would bring in the dog.
I'll go sleep in the doghouse, okay? All right. We've had some issues with this generator outside here. I'm bringing in somebody who's well qualified, actually a town resident here, Atlantic Generator Service. And he's got many years of industrial experience, so hopefully we can sort out why that thing occasionally does not start. So that we can get more lock over there.
How's the water quality from Troy?
It's been good, it's been better than years past. We just got our THM sampling back and we did not have any violation. I was a little worried we might run into a violation this time around, but the numbers all came in good. We had
They implemented some suggestions you made, didn't they, at their plant?
Yes, it did. So, we're seeing better results than we did last year at this time, even with all the heat and everything else, and we're seeing much better. We're not driving as much chlorine, and that's probably the reason why, our numbers of THM numbers down, we're not using as much chlorine. So it's been much more effective. Plus, I think we've had a lot of turnover, but we had some real high days, this dry weather, it's really driving water through the system. One of these days that we see it in August, million gallon plus days. So, that probably helps a little bit also.
Now, the town of Poston Kills, my understanding, approved.
The water district extension, I was aware of, I learned of that this past week.
So that has bearings on us, correct?
Absolutely, and we have to work through a contract negotiation there and doing some modifications there, and we're going to look at putting a intermediate chlorination station over in Eagle Mills, so that we'll be able to, this will help in the THMs and also help with the residual, further extents of the system, that we will use less here, a little bit more over there, and it'll help even out, the actual overall chlorine in the system.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bradley's report, can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Gold. Superintendent of the Utilities and Inspection.
There wasn't that one left on my desk.
Nope, it's all right here.
There's all
One
the
more.
weird stuff.
I'll just take it back.
This is a report for the building department for June of 2024. We have 33 building and property inspections. We have 319 active building permits, 13 permits issued or renewed, 6 meetings, 2 planning board meetings, 2 zoning board meetings, 0 court cases, 0 fire inspections, 8 follow-up complaints and follow-up code call-out inspections, 2 code call-outs, 11 code complaints, 17 code complaint inspections, 0 vacant abandoned properties identified, 8 planning board projects, 3 zoning board projects, and 8 FOIL request searches received.
Excellent. Any questions? Entertain a motion for Chuck's report.
I'll make it.
Thank you.
Did you want the national grid?
All in favor?
I was gonna do it later.
Mr. Ansker. Tom,
Thank you.
throw you right in there, buddy. We're jumping around tonight.
Good evening. Recycling report for June. Blue bags purchased at the center, we had 467 at $3 for $1,400. Blue bags purchased from vendors, 600 for $1,530. Purple bags purchased at the center, 163 at $2 for $326. Our metal light iron and tin, we had 1.25 tons at $200, a gross ton for $200. Bale cardboard, 3.19 tons at a penny a pound for $63. Miscellaneous large and small appliances, we had 7. We had 13 ACs, 23 tires, 1 dehumidifier for $414. And that gave us revenues of $3,934. The expenses, Refuse landfill, 15.69 tons at $85 a ton, plus $1,813. Single stream recycling, 10.3 tons at $50 a ton for $515. CDD waste, 2.33 tons at $69.75 a ton for $162. CEE recycled, 1.39 tons at no charge. That gave us expenses of $2,491. The total amount recycled in landfill for June was 34.14 tons.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? I'll make a motion to approve Tom's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brunswick Community Library. Sarah?
Hello.
Tip that down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit short. All right, so for the month of June, we had 2,693 visitors to our library. We answered 241 questions, reference questions. Our study spaces were used 95 times. Our tech was used 63 times. We processed 17 passports, and our Wi-Fi was used by 127 people. Our items were checked out 7,336 times, and our programs were attended 1,180 times. Some of our very popular programs that happened last month were Garden Day. Thank you to everyone who came out and made that a wonderful success. And our adult clothing swap, we had over 83 people come out to get free clothes. I'm glad that that was a success as well. For some upcoming events that we would like to highlight. Summer reading has started. It runs until August 22nd. We have game boards this year. Families can keep track of the days that they read together. It's for all ages. When they hit every fifth day, they can come in and get a prize to encourage reading through the summer. Our first children's yoga session was yesterday. The next session is going to be August 7th at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, we have a corner bookmark mindfulness craft with Miss Jenny. Thank you, Miss Jenny, for running this. Foraging with Master Gardener Crystal Tosi is going to take place on the 17th at 2 o'clock. Tinker Garden with Miss Heather is the 18th at 4. We have a very special reptile show with Uncharted Wild on August 2nd at 1 o'clock. We do recommend getting there early as our animal shows are very popular and they get crowded quickly. In August, we have a health literacy series starting with registered nurse Carissa Soror. August 5th at 4:30 is the first one. It's health literacy basics. August 12th, we have health literacy for diabetes. August 19th, health literacy for hypertension or high blood pressure. And on August 13th, we have New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services providing a citizen preparedness course training at 12:30. On August 16th at 2 o'clock, we have an author reading by Carly White for Daisy the Service Dog. Daisy the Service Dog will be there to help teach children about the importance of what service dogs do for people. You cannot pet Daisy the Service Dog, however, she will be
Not the
working.
same one that's gonna sniff out the chlorine, right?
No. Daisy the Service Dog has a different job, but the author will be there to teach people and read her book. I'm also just gonna make a quick statement. We were made aware that the town has gotten complaints about one of our programs. The library itself has not received complaints, but I wanted to take a moment to address this. The Legal Aid Society of Northeastern New York, also called LASNY, and the Empire Justice Center are hosting a name change clinic at our location. This program is a program that was requested by community members who are struggling to find services, and we are grateful to the lawyers from LASNY and Empire Justice Center who have volunteered their time to come out and assist our adult community members with legal aid free of cost. No Brunswick tax dollars are paying for this program. It is free. Our library patrons have been overwhelmingly supportive of this program, which is being provided at our location by two deeply respected legal organizations. The library is providing space for the program, but detailed questions and registration should be directed to the lawyers hosting the clinic. Our library regularly collaborates and provides space for other organizations that offer specialty information or bring enjoyment to our community members, such as Cornell Cooperative Extension, Capital Region Medicare Specialists, Girl Scouts, 4-H, the Arts Center, SUNY Albany, Together for Youth, formerly known as the Berkshire Farm Center and Services for Youth, Civil War and medieval reenactment groups, the Department of Environmental Conservation, New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services, National Guard, and many more. Working with outside organizations is part of the library's function in providing information services to our community, and it's part of the minimum standards set for public libraries by the state that a library A, provides programming to address community need, and B, establishes and maintains partnerships with other educational, cultural, or community organizations which enable the library to address the community's needs. We want to remind our patrons that gender identity and expression are protected under New York State human rights law. These laws exist to ensure that every individual has equal opportunity to participate fully in the economic, cultural, and intellectual life of the state. Discrimination and harassment towards protected classes are not tolerated within the library building or on our grounds. We expect that all visitors to the library will continue to conduct themselves accordingly and give all of our patrons the respect and privacy they deserve. And I'll just close up with our own mission statement. The Brunswick Library offers access to lifelong learning resources, engaging activities, and an inclusive community space for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Entertain a motion to approve Sarah's report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, resolutions. Becca?
Resolution 52 of 2024. Resolution establishing Plan Development District non-refundable sketch plan fee pursuant to Section 160-99.A1D of the Town of Brunswick zoning law.
I'll second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Sullivan and seconded by Councilman Christian. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary, absent. Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution 53 of 2024, resolution authorizing purchase of snow blower and related equipment for Town of Brunswick Highway Department.
I'll go.
Second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Christian and seconded by Supervisor Harrington. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary, absent. Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted.
Okay. Correspondence? Any correspondence?
I have two correspondence. Recently we received a card from Carol DeLucia from Diana Lane, wanting to thank the Bill Bradley and his water department for their assistance helping solve a problem of water pressure. And basically, if it wasn't for them, even the furnace company was struggling. So they went above and beyond, and they're very appreciated. Again, a special thanks, sincerely, Carol. And also, we received a letter. I should have read this at the last meeting. My apologies, but it was brought to my attention today. Dear Brunswick Town Board members and Town Clerk, I'm writing to express my gratitude and appreciation to our Town Clerk, Rebecca Delgazo, and her staff for their assistance with my FOIL request regarding town recycling operations. The findings from this effort were made public at March and April 2024 Town Board meetings. I'm very pleased to know that you looked at the data, listened to my reports, and to see that real and positive changes have been made. 2024 recycling center improvements, daily bag sales, fees, and cash handling are more carefully monitored. Greater accuracy in reporting. Fees for CEE, which is e-waste, have ceased. Website recycling fees and signs updated for consistency. Used oil is now professionally recycled. Single-use batteries now sorted on site. Professional fluorescent bulb recycling. New and updated signage. Awareness of future opportunities for greater efficiency in daily operations. The town has been provided with 2 recycling-specific New York State DEC grant funding opportunities for 1 capital improvement, capital projects to improve and update recycling facilities, and 2 to promote public awareness for recycling in our town. At the end of the day, I think we share the common goals of recycling as a public service for a clean, healthy environment. Through this process, we have learned the importance of staying up to date on recycling laws and best practices, sharing information, and assisting the public to ensure proper waste disposal and recycling in our town. Thank you, Patty Sprague. And that was it for correspondence.
Okay. Do we have any old business? Anyone want to talk about? New business. I believe Brunswick Acres PDD, at this point, fall under new business. The Brunswick Acre PDD was approved by the town board. The subdivision was also approved by the planning board, subject to conditions. But the owner did not timely complete conditions, and the planning board approvals expired. Due to passage of time without commencement of this project, the PDD approval may also expire under current Brunswick zoning law, but it can be extended upon request by the owner. Now, the owner has filed an application with the planning board for reapproval of the subdivision, and now the owner is requesting from the town board an extension of the PDD approval. So it's my understanding, Andy Brick, counsel, an attorney representing the owner, has submitted a PDD extension request, and he's with us tonight. Counsel, bring us up to speed, or did I?
Good evening.
Did I say it all?
Supervisor, it took a lot of my thunder, but
That's all right.
first, I haven't been here before the town of Brunswick in about 10 years. It's an absolute pleasure to be back. By far, this is one of the best towns to work with town boards to achieve results. When I delivered the letter on Monday to your assistant Tracy, I said I was really happy to be back. I was looking forward to being here. It's a great town to work with. She said, well, make sure you tell the town board that, because sometimes they just hear a lot of criticism and not a lot of credit. So I did want to say that. I promised her I would.
I appreciate that.
Very, very happy to be back. My experience working with you and your council and all of your staff has always been wonderful, so I'm happy to be back. I'm glad to see you're still here.
The years go by.
Yes.
You've always been a straight shooter, and I and the board likes that. Whether we agree, disagree, or whatever.
And
We
it
don't have
hasn't
time
changed.
for people to tell stories, so thank you.
I've gotten even better about cutting through the BS.
I can have a little of that, so.
I'm here on behalf of Brunswick Road LLC, the project sponsor for the Brunswick Acre PDD. With me tonight is Charles Casal and Anthony Casal, principals of the project sponsor. We're just asking for you to exercise your authority to extend the PDD by 1 year. Under your zoning, which has been substantially revised since the last time I looked at it, it's a much better document. We obviously worked very hard on it since I've been here last. There is a provision that allows the town board to extend a PDD by up to 12 months. And we are asking for you to consider extending the Brunswick Acre PDD. There have been some delays. There's some unexpected aspects of it that have taken much longer than expected. It turns out we had to negotiate an easement, then we found out we couldn't get an easement from the energy company, from the electric company, NYSEG, so we had to purchase the property. We're in the process of finalizing that. It took a little longer than expected with Rensselaer County Department of Health to get approvals on the septic, but we're expecting that soon. The planning board approval did expire per your new zoning code, but we have a public hearing scheduled for the 18th to seek the reapproval of the planning board approvals. So we're confident, and nothing about the project has changed. It's still the same exact project that was approved, still 24 lots, single-family homes, owner occupied. On 44 acres off of Brunswick Road, just west of Heather Ridge. So the project is the same that you approved 2 years ago. It just, unfortunately, we're probably going to need another 12 months to get shovels in the ground. We expect we'll have shovels in the ground prior to the 12 months, but we would ask for the full 12 months just in case any other hiccups arise that we don't anticipate. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Board, any questions at this point? No? Mark, any questions?
The project is essentially the same. I wasn't on the board when it first.
Same exact, 24 lot subdivision, single family homes. It's still a 24 lot subdivision, single family homes. Cul-de-sac, it's not a cut through road. Everything is exactly the same as it was.
Septic system size and types are
Size and types and design, that was part of the discussion that took place with County Health, which delayed things a little longer than we expected. But we now have a submission to them that we expect them to approve. So obviously, anything we do is subject to their approval, but we expect that they're going to see that. We work through whatever concerns they have.
Now, what I'd like to do is, number one, thank you. Excellent presentation. I'd like to review the info and the request, and we would be in a position to act at our August board meeting. Does that give them time, Andy, does that work time-wise?
Timing wise, it does. The PDD will be in place through the middle of August. After your regular August board meeting, it does give you time to review the request and consider that. Andy was correct that the planning board public hearing on the major subdivision application is scheduled for next week, July 18th. That's been noticed. So that will proceed. The PDD still remains in place. It does give you time to review and consider that and further consider that at your August meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Again, nice to be here again. Nice to
Thank
see
you. All right, any other new business? Warrants?
Make the motion to pay our bills.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now, we went through that pretty good. At this point, I'd like to open the meeting for any visitors who'd like to come forward with any questions, comments. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kim Jensen. I live at 14 Roberts Drive. And I am here tonight to just give you a report about the first community meeting that was held last night surrounding the Hoosick Road traffic and development. There was over 60 attendees. I'd like to especially thank Mr. Sipperly for his attendance. He was excellent in answering questions about logistics and organizational items, as well as taking note of immediate concerns that got brought up by some of the attendees. I'd also like to acknowledge Sue Steele and Katie Spain McLaren from the Troy City Council, as well as Victor, who attended on behalf of Troy Mayor Mantello for their attendance. It was excellent to see that we had representation from both municipalities. This is a shared issue, so it was excellent to have both there to be able to work together on this. I wanted to just give a brief overview of what was presented during the meeting, as well as the comments and suggestions that came out of the discussion from the group. We presented data from a number of sources, mainly the traffic studies that have come since 2000 up to 2024, as well as the town's comprehensive plan from 2013, and the projects that are currently in discussion or process to be developed in the future. After sharing these pieces of information, we did open up discussion for about the last half hour of the meeting for comments, suggestions, concerns. Overall, I think the meeting was very productive. I hope that was your takeaway as well, both in just informing folks about the history of the issue, where we stand today, and to begin the process of generating specific asks from the residents that they think would help improve their quality of life. So just as a housekeeping item, I wanted to find out where we should send the more detailed report of what occurred yesterday, some of those comments, summaries, all of that. To what's the best email address for you?
Town clerk at townofbrunswick.org.
Yeah, there was several large sticky notes that got filled up with sometimes very specific asks and sometimes just kind of more nebulous questions about, what has happened and what we can do. There were a couple of common concerns and suggestions that came out of the discussion that we wanted to bring to you today. One was a sentiment that was shared broadly among the group. I'm sure it's not anything you haven't heard before, but that there is concern that the town leaders, the planning board, the zoning board, that they're not hearing the residents about what they want from their community, and that there was a sense of increasing frustration as they saw the recommendations that have come out over the past 20 years, both from the studies and the comprehensive plan, and the perceived lack of action on those things.
My comment there is, in a small community, if we weren't listening to our people, we would not have got reelected at the last election. So the majority of people did reelect myself and Mark Jim. So what I'm saying, it's a small community. Trust me, that's term limits at this level. So I disagree with that. We listen to the people, and if you know me, I bang on doors where there's a concern, which I just did over a library issue that ended quite well after I visited. So I disagree with the group on that finding.
And absolutely, I think that that's, a fair comment to make.
Yeah. Well, you're right, we hear it from them all the time.
I was gonna say, yeah. There was also.
And what I'm saying is, if we're gonna work together, you gotta work together, so.
Yeah, there was definitely acknowledgement that this isn't an issue that can be fixed, but that it's an issue that we can mitigate and prevent from getting worse. I think that there is a
Yeah,
good
I wanna say
understanding that we
publicly-
can't stop the problem.
I want to say
Keep
publicly,
it
I
from getting worse.
find you to be quite neutral. I don't know the word is.
Right,
I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah, I appreciate the feedback, thank you. One of the other repeated comments that came up was around communication from the town, about the progress. And I think that we can maybe resolve some of those frustrations, by sharing the information. Because if the information is presented regularly, and in a format that is accessible, that I think that will lessen some of the frustration about what is viewed as a lack of progress, even though we know the town employees are here working hard every day for us on a number of issues. And so what we're asking is for the town to provide regular updates in 2 formats for the duration of the projects related to the study recommendations from Route 7. One would be a monthly update here during this meeting as a standing meeting agenda item. And the second being adding a section to the town newsletter to give a summary of the work that's been completed. And I think we all know that these projects include other organizations, other government agencies, and that sometimes that update might be that the town has reached out to DOT 4 times in a month and they have gotten nothing back. But I think sharing that transparently would help with some of that frustration, because rather than directing all that frustration at you guys, they'd see that DOT is not being a good partner or whoever, so that at least that information is transparent to the people and they feel a little bit better about it.
And again, as you mentioned, when you deal with government agencies, now we're talking DOT and state and CDTC, and there's a lot of different agencies involved with this Route 7 and this corridor study. We take a lot of pride in the town to quickly give you answers. But you're right, it's, government moves awful slow.
Yep.
So.
It is an unfortunate part of the beast that we're tackling here. But I think that it would help with them knowing when to expect those changes, so that rather than being like, oh, we were told in March that the timing of the lights would make things better, as that happened, it's July. Just knowing that it's being worked on, I think would help lessen some of those frustrations and make people feel like they are being heard. And beyond those 2 somewhat connected issues, the other item that came up several times is that our comprehensive plan is over a decade old, and it may be time to start formulating a new one. So at this time, what I would like to ask is if we do have your commitment to add a standing agenda item, starting in the August meeting next month, to address the progress on all of the recommendations that were made by the study in March. Is that something that we would be able to do?
We'll take everything in consideration.
And then also the other request would be whether we would consider starting on an update to the comprehensive plan.
Again, we'll take everything in consideration, correct? I know, I understand 10 years is the number, and it's been 11.
Right, yeah, it was over a decade old.
But did we have one before? Comprehensive plan?
I think it's the first official comprehensive plan. I think there were other similar.
There were pieces here and
previously.
there,
Yeah.
somewhat dated. 2013 was the real.
Was a real deal.
Yeah, and I mean, I've read the whole comprehensive plan and I saw all the community outreach that happened, and I think that, there's things that have changed, and maybe our priorities have changed as well, and it's worth it to ask people what they want in an official way.
The supervisor before me, who tried this, he formed all kinds of committees,
Right.
and it got bogged down, and the committees got fighting, and I mean, it was just, it was terrible.
Yeah.
When I got involved, we zoomed in on that a little bit more.
Right, yeah, and that was one of the other things that was discussed informally with a couple of residents before the meeting, is this is an inherited issue.
What I'm saying is,
Like-
when Tom started it, it was hard to put a handle, so we talked for years and years, and then
Right.
finally we got serious and got it done in 2013, I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I think people are just interested in maybe starting that process
Yeah.
again, because if it's gonna take another, 2 years to kind of get down to what the goals of the town
Yeah.
should be, starting that sooner rather than later was something that was brought up several times.
Okay, good point.
And now that I've got all the critical part out of the way, we did want to just thank you again for providing us with a space to meet. The feedback that we got was that people were very glad to be able to kind of understand the issue a little bit better and to be able to start trying to formulate ideas on how to solve it. I noted last night that Brunswick is a lot of professionals. We have a lot of really good resources in this town, and I think it would be great to use them to be able to find creative solutions and funding opportunities. So we will get you a more detailed report. So we did do a short questionnaire, so we have some results from that, and we'll also forward you the content of the presentation as well, so that you know what's been discussed. Do you guys have any questions that I could try to answer now or in the future?
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
All right. We're still under comments from visitors. Come on up.
Hello, Christy Fraunhofer, 7209. She's probably already got it in. I know a lot of people have mentioned the shopping cart issue over the past few months. And the town of Glenville also had the same problem. And they have passed a shopping cart law in January. The town supervisor, Chris Hotel, sorry, Chris, said that they had been after stores for years to come and pick up their discarded shopping carts with no success. They were an eyesore and hazard for people to get around on the sidewalks just like us. And I think you had a whole bunch the other day. There was like 7 or 8 of them that stopped at that light. They're gone now, but they had a whole bunch there at the Chris Shopper spot. So their new law says that a store has 24 hours upon notification to retrieve their carts. If they do not, they are fined. Each cart and each day are separate violations. The initial fine is $100 and then $250 for every day after that. They have found that Market 32 was their primary problematic store, and they've been extremely proactive after the law has been passed. I was wondering if there was something that we may be able to look at that would be similar to put a little pressure, because I know we can't move that bus stop that we tried.
Yeah, I don't like shopping carts.
I know, and I know everybody mentions it like every few months, but and then I saw that and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that might be something we can do.
We've been talking, again, something we've been doing at CDTC, trying to get the bus back in the Market 32. And Saturday, I went in a bus parked in front of that Market 32. I don't know if that was a freak thing. I'm hoping that they're pulling back in. I gotta check on that. If they do, pick the people up there, they're not pushing them shopping carts across the road, you know.
Right. And
I don't know what the bus was doing there. I mean, parked up in front. I went to
That
the
would be
bank.
great. I know we discussed that at the meetings too, that we could get with CDTA, if we could get them to reinstitute going through there, and they mentioned the turnaround problem, but that would be fabulous. Because there's also the people who use the motorized cars,
Yeah.
and they have to take the bus, and that's difficult for the handicapped people too. And then lastly, I was wondering if there's an update on our speed bumps.
Have you seen anything sprayed on the ground down there?
I have, yes.
He uses red paint. I couldn't even find one. I went down there.
I saw it, yeah. I saw a few, but not as many as you had mentioned, so.
Right.
Do you think they're coming soon?
Gotta go. I gotta go take another look at
Okay.
that.
Okay.
You know, again, part of the recommendation with that Route 7 traffic study was there's a lot of responsibilities here, and again, a lot of the responsibility is DOT, the New York State DOT, that's their responsibility. CDTA, a lot of their responsibilities for some of these studies. And the town of Brunswick has some responsibilities. One of them being traffic calming measures, which we know. So the mention and what we started to implement, the planning and installation of speed humps on Genesee Street and North Fork, and it is in progress. We marked them out but we've been told we gotta have signs before we put them in, so we ordered the signs. And what we wanna do is, we wanna put in some and then take a look and see how they work. And if they were working, we can maybe move to the other side. I think I mentioned 3 and 2, didn't I, or 4 and 2?
4 and 3.
4 and 3.
Yeah.
What's marked out there, 3 and,
I didn't see the 4 and 3, so that's why I was wondering. I think there's 2 and 2, I think.
okay.
So,
I got-
yeah,
Mr. Bonesteel went down because there's measurements, you gotta be so far away from stop signs and stuff.
yeah.
Believe it or not, people don't want in front of their houses. So.
These are the same people who complain about the traffic. So I feel like you can't
So
make
we're-
everybody
we're-
happy all the time. but-
We're doing that, so, to answer your question, yes, we wanna get some of these in, and I wanna get them in soon. And I'd like to have Mr. Del Signor, who does it for a living and has done it in another town, install. So it will happen quite soon. I gotta go down there myself, but I drove through kind of quickly there one night, and I couldn't even see the marking, because they're in red, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll take a look, so,
Okay. Can I give Rebecca the town
Please.
line bill?
please.
Thank you. Just in case.
Thank you.
Okay,
Hello,
hello, young lady.
Jennifer Mann, 91 Hill Road. I actually was just talking with Sharon Zinkel last night about the history of comprehensive plans. And she said that there was one that was attempted in 1971 that was voted down by the board. And then in 1998, when you came into office, you started started to make another comprehensive plan. And it was adopted in 2001, so it takes about 3 years. And Sharon helped a lot with writing the questionnaire and evaluating it. So it does take a couple of years usually from the time you started until it's finished. Jim, how long did it take with the 2013 one? 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
So it seems like that would also be another good reason to start now.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for the update, appreciate it.
Sure.
Chuck, come on up. I was gonna ask you to comment on what you're working on there, so thank you for coming up, I'm hoping that.
I didn't want to take my time when I was up here previously.
All right,
Stop the other folks from reporting out, but this is the LED conversion program that I was looking at back in the spring. It manifested itself from the clean energy community program. This is one of their action items where you can get grants by pursuing it. The LED conversion program is National Grid putting together a quote for what we have for existing lighting and what it would cost to remove that existing lighting and replace it with LED. We have 501 luminaries in the town for roadway and 3 decorative luminaries. We had a discrepancy in the account numbers, which I've got to work with Rebecca on. But the numbers pretty much come up the same. The incentive for the roadway luminaries was $46.03 a piece, so it comes up to a total of $23,063.31. Now, if at the end of the total conversion of those 501 lamps, National Grid will give back to an estimated energy incentive of $28,435. So in essence, it's for free, the swapping of the lights. Maintaining the lights is still done by National Grid as the maintenance of those lights, or I should say ownership and maintenance of those lights. The quote that I received that I gave you guys in your package is good for 180 days. We're currently on day 91. So if we wanted to pursue this, I'm sure Tom and Andy will look it over, and I am reaching out to other municipalities that have started down this road. They figure it takes about 3 years to convert everything. It's done when the luminaries and the cruise time is available. So when you have a big thunderstorm or something that comes in, it does a lot of damage. Well, they're not gonna be available for a little while to do this kind of work. But, they figured about 3 years to do it all.
At one point,
Install price per luminary, John?
Pardon me?
That was an installed
That is
price per
installed.
luminary?
at one point, I was thinking when the lights blew out, the old lights, they replaced them with the new LED lights. So that was my understanding. Didn't happen.
In very few cases, we only have 4 LEDs.
Wow. The first 4, when they talked about that program.
And the folks at the Brunswick Meadows, it's very apparent down there, the difference between LED and the high-pressure sodium, because of the LED strings are in Troy, and then you come into the high-pressure sodium. There was some of the tenants there, or not tenants, but residents there have been saying it's hard to see the entrance to Brunswick Meadows. It's the difference in light. There is a light across from that intersection, but it's high-pressure sodium. So, the LED lighting, and the consumption of power of the LEDs is less than 50% than high-pressure sodium. So you have that cost savings through the year. It was $83,000 per year we're paying.
Yeah.
For street lights. You've done a lot of work. I appreciate that on this. I mean, I think the board would be interested in considering moving ahead on this. Right?
Andy, I will get this to you, I sent it to Tom.
Tom's on vacation, so when he comes back. All right, Chuck?
Any questions?
Thank you, sir. All right, anybody else at this point?
All right, I'm going to get up. We sat in the back, that was wrong.
You behaved yourself for a while back.
Jenny O'Connor and Michael O'Connor, 27 McCarty Lane. We came on behalf specifically to just back the library, the Brunswick Community Library, and the amazing things that they do. I am Miss Jenny, who's doing the program tomorrow. So I just love how much it supports everything in our community. I've gone to the knitting program, and I've gone to the clothes swaps, and I've gone to the children's events and the fall festival. My husband they support local authors. He's a local author, and he has books there. And it's just so nice that it just seems like everything they do just supports our entire community. There's a lot of things I don't go to. It's not my kind of thing. But I love that they support so many things there. And so it's just a really great thing to have. Every time I share something on Facebook or other places, I'm like, our library is so great. Like, we're such a small, like you said before, small community, you know? And for such a small community, it's got so much activity that supports so much. And it's lovely, because I was just saying to somebody else, oh, you should check, because your local library probably has an adult reading program for the summer. And people don't think about that. I know ours does. And I just felt so proud to say that, you know, our little tiny library community. So.
We appreciate your input.
Yeah.
As the authors, obviously, I'll come up with the words. Sarah was great helping me publish, and she was great supporting me in getting my first 2 novels into the library.
Oh, nice.
And both of them primarily take place in Western County. And the third one that's being edited right now is entirely Troy, Brunswick. And my fourth one is entirely Brunswick.
Wow.
So lots of cool local stuff to read.
The council's not.
The other thing I just wanted to mention, because we were here, and it's something I brought up at other times when I've seen any of you or talked to me, so I'll bring it up here formally. I drive during the school year, because I'm a teacher. I drive exiting McCarty onto McChesney and take McChesney to Brunswick Street. And the intersection of McChesney and McChesney Extension has risked my life many days, because I go straight. And most people there do not formally stop or really look.
Coming off the extension.
Around the corner.
Yeah.
At that stop sign, they don't look both ways.
On the way here tonight. So they made a right from the extension onto McChesney again, and didn't even stop. So
I've had my car actually brake for me, because I thought that the car was stopped, and he went ahead and turned, and we almost had a near collision.
Yeah.
My recommendation that I brought up is if there's room for a circle there, or a 3-way stop, which I wouldn't like either, because I know that I could back it up more. So I think the circle would be optimal, and it seems like there's space there if the people that own the land there would be willing. But
it has just become more dangerous, and with all of the apartments being built there along McChesney Extension and with the ambulance corps and with Walmart and all the new things, people coming off Hoosick, as we talked about the problem, a lot of people cut through that area. The traffic there has just increased so much that it has become more and more dangerous. I'm on summer break, so I've got the days off right now.
My wife was an elementary art teacher for many, many years. So she enjoyed the summer break.
On the road in McChesney Avenue has become a shortcut from where the Wanted Dodgers was to the McChesney traffic light. People are using that to get around, like on Fridays and such.
Yeah.
And obviously, with people avoiding Cruiser Street using Route 2, town off, the McChesney Extension now has also become a shortcut.
Yeah.
So we're getting, the amount of traffic there is incredible. Like, I remember going back there in the 90s, and it was just all black and dark. And people walking.
I was born down there 75 years ago. Just over Sugar Hill with that barn and stuff. It's pretty dark back 75 years ago, I think. Wasn't many cell phones back then.
But the volume of traffic has, I can't even say how much it is, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just become very dangerous, and it scares me sometimes, and so I'm always overly cautious.
Which then invites people to run it.
Yeah. I don't think Pam's here from Highland Creek. Young lady, everybody's young now. She's got grown kids now, but I did know her. She lived in Highland Creek. Unfortunately, her son, who I remember, just a little guy, pulled out of there with his car the other day and stopped from Highland Creek to McChesney, and there was brush there. It blocked the view, I'm being told. It had a bad accident right there. So she called here and wanted a brush cut. She was told that it's a county road. That's not a town road. I hope, did you talk to you, Rebecca, or Tracy? Probably talked to Tracy's, the highway superintendent's secretary, my secretary also. I believe Tracy called the county. I know she did, to report it. And they said it might be 10 days before they could get there and cut the brush. So I just want Pam to know, and I can call her. Our highway superintendent, Mike Bailey, went down that day, that night, after work, and cut the brush himself. And I know it happened because Dave Anthony, who's the highway superintendent for the county, I saw him in Stewart 2 days later and said, hey, thank your God, And if you notice, when you pull out of Highland, just notice, if you don't come up, you pull out of Highland Creek and you take a right, you start up the hill, there's a field right there. I know the attorney sitting next to me here, so, but I learned not to be too careful, but unfortunately. I had the highway mow that field the last 2 years. It's a small field. It belongs to the Highland Creek, to be honest with you, but the grass is so high, and I know the area so well, and there's so many deers that cut through that. So when you pull out of Highland Creek, the deer go through it, and you can't see them. And I got this fear after hearing about these accidents. As you probably know, people come over the hill going toward Eagle Mill at 50 miles an hour. If you're coming out of Highland Creek and you start up the hill, you're doing maybe 20. A deer comes out, the guy pulling down is going to swing and hit that car and pulling slow. So I'm not taking that responsibility. You can sue me or sue the town or whatever you want to do, but safety reason, we mowed that field. So I'm quite concerned about the safety, like you said.
Yeah, and I did speak with him, he said
What's that?
The road, the person that was in charge of the roads in Brunswick.
Yeah, Mike Bailey?
Yes, thank you. I did speak with him after the last time we went to the Hoosick Road conversation thing. I spoke with him about that, and I also had mentioned if they were going to reline McChesney, and I think that's when he did actually mention that it wasn't a county because it's not lined. But so that makes sense. So I should
There was
reach out
a
to the
time.
county.
There was a time when I was a councilman here, a lot younger, and they talked me into running for county legislator also, which I didn't want to do. It was a long story, but I ran when I got elected to the county, and And I spent, at the time, 2 years down there, and in all due respect, once you start up that, I think this is the top, but you start up this ladder at the county, there's so many people involved, so I just couldn't take it. I want to come back here, because at the town, we got a 5-member board, and when it comes to highway, we can make decisions. And you talk about DOT, that's the tough part. And they want to know, monthly updates, that's fine, but our highway guys are out working on roads all the time, digging, patching, paving, and, I just can't say to them, go down and start working on Route 7 from Ted Fish Ride down or something, But if we know there's a safety situation, and bring it to our attention, and we're gonna try, so we'll take a look at that intersection, but that'd be a coordination with the county too.
Yeah, we can't do anything about it, we need the town.
Right.
But it's something that you could bring to the right people's attention to get it going.
We were successful, as people here know, on North Lake, working with the county and come up on a Freer Park.
I love that 4-way stop sign.
I truly love.
That was a challenge. We thank people in Sickaway for keeping the pressure on us. Thank you, guys. Anybody else at this point?
Come on, Artie, stand up.
Artie, come on.
Thank you. I put my hat on because you'll know me. I come respectfully to address the town and the townspeople. All of you back here that are townspeople in Brunswick. I have a few words to say. I don't have a written speech, but I've carefully thought out what I am about to say. Supervisor Harrington, Councilman Sullivan, Councilman Christian, and Councilman Sepperly, with all due respect, and also Rebecca. I come here with a concern about 2 weeks ago. I noticed something that was happening in my county with my money. And I hadn't been told about it. It's in regards to an upcoming 2 meetings in our public library. And the public library has decided, without perhaps talking to the folks in the county who's paying the taxes, that they want to have a meeting, 2 meetings, where they can bring together those that want a name change. Whether those are young people or older people, all due respect, a name change ought to be at a lawyer's office in front of the judge, not at a public library where we are paying the taxes. And I'm not in favor of it. So I said, well, I better do some investigation before I get here. And I'm looking up for public notice. What is the budget for the library? Excuse me for turning my back.
It's okay.
What is the budget for the public library? It's about, give or take a few dollars, $263,000 of taxpayers' money for the library in Brunswick. 263 is the 24 budget. Of the 24 budget, 188,000 is for compensation for the staff. General compensation. It says here in the library, and I'll read the board members' names. Alec Dugan.
Here.
Jennifer Schatz.
Here.
Ann Metzger. Andrea Wedler. Virginia Anderson, a trustee. Teresa Goyette. Grace Krasinski. Matthew Perfetti. Dr. Yusuf Silk. Fred Wolbrecht, and Deb Zappel. Those final six were trustees. I don't know who's getting the salary, but the compensation in the, on the website, it says the payroll expenses are $188,950. The gross compensation is $168,415. Taxes, comp, retirement, bring it up to $188,000. That's 72% of their budget. The building expenses are $18,000. The miscellaneous general expenses for supplies, equipment, materials, automation, insurance is $46,000, or 17% of the budget.
I really
Keep
need you
that
to
mic
be on the
so we keep
mic.
you
You want
recorded.
me right on the budget? I'm sorry.
Please.
You gotta do it a
I'm
minute.
sorry, I'll speak here.
Thank you.
So, my question is, where did they get the money? Where did the money come from?
You mean
So
for
I
that,
looked it up. I looked up where the money is coming from. And the money is coming from school tax, Brunswick school tax, $35,000. Town of Brunswick, $152,000. $152,000 for a library. And do you have a breakdown of where that money's spent? Do they call you? Do they call you, Phil, and say, we're planning this, can we do it? Is
I'll
the
comment
money,
when we get
is
done.
the money being spent? Am I being asked, or the other taxpayers here asked, before that money is spent? Let me ask you one other question. Who started the conversation between the Brunswick Library and a lady over in Albany that represents LGBTQ or whatever? Who started the conversation and said, can I come there and use your facilities to change the name of children in your county? That's what I want to know. I want to see the train of emails or phone calls that who started this. And who is financing $152,000 with no accountability? So, with that said, I'd like to finally finish my conversation to you, Supervisor Harrington. For the next round of budgeting, if we can't get accountability for $152,000, I say defund the library. That's what I say. I say defund the library until we get accountability at the taxpayer level.
They present the budget for the town.
And thank you, respect, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Martin. Just to mention that specific events are determined by, as you know, the library board and not the town board. We do financially support the library. Over the years, the community library has been a tremendous access or a plus to the town of Brunswick. People love the community library. They serve a vital function in our community. You know, the library is available to all ages, education, social interactions, sense of community, print and digital information. And as we all know, reading is the core of learning. What we do in the budget process here, we look at a town board to see the benefits when we give the money out. It's true, over the years, the library has grown. They've got more active. I know there's a situation with this one issue here with people, but they've got a tremendous track record. They've done so much for the community and for the kids, and that's why we have increased their budget every year. And the accountability, no, they don't call and say, can I put this program on? The accountability is the librarian, Sarah, comes every month, or someone from the library comes every month and gives a report. And that's vital. We listen to the report, we listen to see what they've done for a month, and that's what we base their salary on. So I just want to mention they've been outstanding. They are outstanding. I know this is, I've got other calls on this program we're putting on, and so do other board members. So, but I just want to say, I've been a library supporter. I believe the board's been a library supporter, and they've done an outstanding job. And this is one event, so appreciate your input. Anybody else at this point? Come on up.
Sorry.
Who is that lady?
Jennifer Mann, 91 Hill Road. Thank you for supporting the library. They are an amazing asset in this community. As a homeschooling mom, I think I must save $30,000 a year getting my library books from there. The library is like another living room away from home. I always see friends there. It is an amazing place. And it is in their mission statement to serve every member of our community. And that's what they're doing. And that's what these name change clinics are there to support these people in our community who need them. And they are fully booked, so they are there's a demand. And they don't cost taxpayer dollars, they were free. They're free name change clinics. These people came and offered their time to do this. And I appreciate that the town supports the library because it's a great asset. Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, Sarah, come on up.
Hi there, I just wanted to clarify that no Brunswick tax dollars have funded this program. It is being run by volunteer lawyers, so anyone who's concerned about their tax dollars, it is not being paid for by Brunswick tax dollars in any way, shape, or form. It is being run by two deeply respected legal clinics in New York State. If anyone has questions about the clinic, they can reach out to these lawyers. We provide lots of programs for lots of different people in our town. It is a very diverse community. We have lots of things going on for many different people. Our budget is easy to see online. It can be viewed by absolutely anyone. Our staff does not have health insurance. We are not that well paid, I promise you. But we do have to pay our staff. But anyone can go online. We are very transparent. If anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out to the library. We are happy to answer your questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the age group that's being served by this?
So name change clinics are only for adults. Legally, that is what they are for.
And adult
It
is
is
defined
not,
by-
I believe it's 18 and up. But again, for specifics, you would have to contact the lawyers, but I believe it's 18 and up only. For adults, I don't think it's 21 and up, I think it's 18 and up. But this clinic is only for adults. I don't know where the word child was getting thrown around. That is not factual. This is a clinic and a service for adults. It's a legal aid clinic. We have had people provide legal advice and services to our members before. Librarians themselves do not provide legal or medical advice, so we get specialists to come in to provide informational services to our patrons. That is part of our job as a library, to provide information whenever we can, and to get specialists to come in when we can't provide information. We did have community residents request this program. So this program might not serve everybody. That's okay. There were people who needed it, and we found somebody to serve that need. That is what we do. Just like when we provided Medicare programs for seniors, just like when we provide physical therapy programs, we have health literacy programs coming up, Girl Scout programs, 4-H, Cornell Cooperative Extension, Master Gardener, and nutritionist programs. This is our job, to get people in touch with information professionals. And it's going to be different types of information for different types of people with different needs. But we are here for everybody. We don't get to pick and choose who we help. We help all of our people. This is a protected class of people under New York State human rights law. Discrimination and harassment based upon gender identity and expression is illegal in New York State. We serve everybody.
Thanks for clearing that up, but I've heard twice tonight and saw online where no tax dollars are being spent. But let's,
No Brunswick tax dollars
But
are being
Sarah,
spent on this.
if the lights are on and the heat's running and the AC's running, there's tax dollars being spent.
The library would be open anyway. Anybody's
I just
welcome
think,
to
you
book
know,
the study room.
Let's just be completely honest about that. There might be volunteers there, but you can't say that there's no tax dollars being spent. The building is
Not
open.
on this program, but the building would be open anyway. And anybody is welcome to book this study room. We've had plenty of people book the study room for tutoring. We've had Bible study in the study room. Somebody asked if that was allowed. It is allowed. You are welcome to come and book the study room for Bible study.
Thank you.
Anybody is welcome. The only things not allowed in our building is hate speech. So please come, please use our space. As long as you are kind to the others in our building, you are welcome. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Glenn Ruffinack, I live on Muriel Drive. It just seems to me when I was growing up, a library had a specific purpose. It contained books and music and reference, things like that, then you went there. It was a small building. And now, it seems like the library is growing and growing and growing in function. So it just becomes more and more expensive. It's more like a community center than it is a library. And the town already has a community center. And some of the programs that are yoga, stitching, art, crafts, all these things that really have nothing to do with the library. Some have something to do with learning, but many of them don't. So, you know, organizations can come to the town, and the town can have some say as how the tax dollars are being spent if somebody applies at the community center because they have to fill out an application. That's just my point. You know, when is this going to stop? It's nice that we have a library, but, you know, let's not make it everything for everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Jean Robert, 3 Marion Drive, former deputy town clerk. I feel the same way. I like the library to be a library, a community center to be a community center. And I really believe that all these small niche programs are just a way for the whole community to get into Brunswick and take over your job. You want Republicans running this show, you've got Democrats running the library. And if that's what you want, that's what you're gonna get.
Okay.
Okay. And defund the library.
Guess what?
Let's try to keep everything kind of friendly here. if
My
we
name
can.
is Alex Duggan. I live at 70 Coldhammer Avenue. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees of the library, and I'm a registered Republican. It is my job as the president of the Board of Trustees to uphold our mission statement, which I will read again. The Brunswick Community Library offers access to lifelong learning resources, engaging activities, and an inclusive community space for all. And that includes you. We welcome you to our library.
We are members
We
here.
own the library.
Yes,
We own
welcome
it.
you to come
Yeah.
to
We
our
own the library, man.
Please
Okay,
come.
let's keep her cool here.
Please come to our monthly meetings. Our budget is totally transparent. The board talks about every program. Sarah presents every program to the board every month. We can agree, we can disagree, we can discuss it, we can make changes. We would love to have you as our members at our board meetings, third Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. Let's talk about this there, because we're here to serve you too. We're here to serve every single person in the town. And what I want to very specifically say though right now is how impressed I am with Sarah. I say this every time I stand up here. One of the best parts of my role at the library is watching our mission statement actually come alive. through the collections and the programs that Sarah curates for us. And then one of the most fortunate parts of my role at the library is working with such smart, thoughtful people. We have a group of colleagues who govern the library in the best way that serves the needs of our patrons. But as governors, we also protect our staff, and we appreciate the partnership that we have with the town. And we hope that the town will also work to protect our staff, especially when situations like this come up. So again, I know I always say all the time how much I appreciate Sarah, who's the library director, Sarah Hopkins. But after hearing everything that she said tonight, and specifically surrounding the events that happened last week after the town put out that Facebook post, I'm particularly impressed.
The town put out a Facebook post?
The town of Brunswick put out a Facebook post saying they had received a number of complaints
Yes, okay.
about this name change clinic.
Yes.
That they have nothing to do with the programming at the library, and that if you have any questions, you should contact the library.
You didn't have an issue with that, right, Alex?
Well, that was really distancing yourself from the library and not shutting down the hate speech when it was happening.
Let me tell you what happened.
But no, let me just finish.
I will.
I just want to say how professionally Sarah has handled everything. Timely, excellent information, totally transparent, but above all, she's been very gracious, and I really appreciate that. So at this point, I don't know what the best way is to move forward here. If the governors of the library and the governors of the town should get together and speak about this. I was writing some notes while everybody was speaking. We are chartered as an association library. So that means that we govern our own activities. We are operating as basically as the will of the people. We get money from the state, money from the county, money from the school board or the school district, and the bulk of our income each year does come from the town. If the people want the town to defund the library, that would be a conversation that we would need to have, because the library is a community center and it does offer services that you can't get anywhere else in Brunswick, especially not at the Keys Lane Community Center. That's a rental facility. It's not a public service. So we are also, something to consider also is that the library is part of the Upper Hudson Library System, which is 36 libraries total. So yes, our main mission is to serve the people of Brunswick, but as everybody knows, everybody goes to all the different libraries for all kinds of programs, whatever interests them. So a lot of our operating policies, they don't just come from our bylaws, but they come from Upper Hudson's bylaws. So if we were to step away from Upper Hudson, we would lose access to about 99% of the collections that are available to the people in Brunswick. So these are all things to consider when you start shouting about defunding the library. It will drastically change the variety of programs for people of all ages and all abilities in our
That
town.
might be good.
Yeah.
Don't think so. Dale Carnegie educated more people in this country.
Bill, that's enough.
By funding the library.
I think that if this is a bigger conversation to have, we should go over the pluses and minuses of what it would be like to lose our library.
I think you heard me tonight, didn't you?
We know we have your support. We know that every time a political campaign comes up, it's one of the bullets on your flyer. And we appreciate that a lot. But we appreciate how much you recognize our budgetary needs. We are still running in a budget deficit each year. You know that. You know, we are running better programs than some of the multi-million-dollar libraries are running. And we've gotten awards for pulling all of this off on a shoestring. So I think there's a bigger conversation that's not going to be solved tonight. But I would be very happy to have it another time with all the numbers and really look at what the future of this town would be like with this kind of discrimination allowed to exist and having the library cut back on its services. So in closing, just thank you to all of you and always thank you to Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want Alex and I want you library people to listen to this. That Facebook page comment. You gotta understand, I'm probably not Facebook savvy. I don't do that type of stuff. But my phone, honest, I'm not kidding you, at the town, and my personal phone was ringing big time. It had to be 15 people calling me all upset. And what I tried to do was, they said, what are you doing this for? How come you put this program on? Why does the town board put this program on? And what I tried to do was say, it's not a town board program, it's a library program. And the library board is the one doing this. It was not, I don't support them, I don't do this. It was just so many people calling thinking that this town board was doing all this. And I got one person call up and said, what about the NRA, you know, if they want to come and put a class on how to get pistol permits at the library, are they welcome to do that?
Yes,
Can I have a Bible study there and learn how to read the Bible?
yes.
So all of a sudden I get blasted from some lady, and I find out she's from Albany. What's the matter with you, Mr. Harrington? You won't come out and say, I support this program 100%. All I was saying, I wasn't supporting or not supporting. I was just saying, please contact the library. They'll explain, as Sarah did to me tonight, and you know, what this program was about, how it came about. That was the post. And Rebecca today said, people are building on this, and I said, I want to get the politics going. You know, if somebody's going to use that saying Harrington doesn't, you know, support libraries and all this stuff, so we pulled that back off. But that post was, I put that on personally, just to direct the questions to the library board and not the town board, because my secretary was going crazy. So don't take it the wrong way, Alex.
No, I want to actually just say that prior to you posting that, we didn't hear anything at the library.
We did.
So that started actually a huge conversation.
No.
That
It was already,
well, no, that started a conversation.
it already started before I put that on there. Mr. Sullivan, you got a few people contact you?
I had 4 calls.
Okay.
And Gordy, and
So since then,
It
we've
was out
had
there.
hundreds of people calling to support us. So your 15 and 4 and a handful here and a handful there actually inspired hundreds and hundreds.
it's not a handful here or hundreds and hundreds. We're all equal. You just got done saying that. So we're good here.
No,
We're good.
I am actually saying to you that what you did by opening those floodgates was showing huge support to the library. The people who we had never.
I opened a floodgate by saying if you have any questions, contact the library.
Yes, because.
Wasn't meant that.
Well, we appreciate the support that we have gotten from the community since.
I
then.
couldn't explain the reason, and I thought you were in a position to explain the reason, and that's why I put it on there. Maybe I didn't do it right.
Absolutely. Anybody who wants to come and have a program at our library, if it is within the bylaws, and our bylaws are online, if it works within the bylaws, you can have a program at the library, especially if it's in the study room with the door closed.
Okay.
So that's to everyone.
We got it.
Hi.
Come on up.
All right. I just drove here on Henry Spitch. You talked about me earlier. That's not why I'm
I said
here.
good things about you.
I was watching online. That's not why I'm here. I just drove from McChesney Extension to McChesney. I stopped at the stop sign. And I tried to drive very slowly, and so I'm here. And I was sitting home on my porch watching this. I didn't plan on coming until I heard the discussion about the library. And I'm going to talk to you, but I'm going to talk to the people out there too. Because there's a side of the library, we're focusing on one incident here. And we're kind of not looking at the entire story, if you want to put it in metaphor. Phil mentioned that my family and I moved out here. My children were very young, had no money,
Yeah,
single
make
mother.
sure you keep hitting that microphone so we can take you.
I had no money, single mother. The library was a godsend. I haven't liked every program that's been there. If I don't like it, I don't go. Haven't always liked all the people I've met there either, but we all have something in common. We're there for the books and the programs. I just wanted to talk about some of the ways that the library has enriched not only my family's life, my children's life. Both of my children are avid readers. My oldest son now is Dean's List. He's at New Halls. My youngest son just graduated with honors after he got hit on his way to graduation. it hurts me personally to hear the library being attacked in this way. And to be told it shouldn't be a community place, it shouldn't be, the library is a safe space. When I didn't have a job, I was able to go there and I was able to use the computer. I made friends there. I've heard the talks about money, why I personally donated to the library, so I own part of it too. And I just felt that I had to make the trip here because I think people need to look at, there's something going on that people don't like, and I understand that, and we're not all gonna like the same thing. But I think that the important thing that needs to be said here is our library has a critical place in this community. And that's what we're talking about here tonight. Everything everybody said is about Brunswick and the community. And if we're going to look at this community, we need to look at it like a family. We're not always gonna get along. We're not always gonna agree. Well, let's give them our support. And I know that personally, I'm concerned by some of the anger that I'm hearing, and almost to the point where even though I have to work, I'm concerned about the people who are going to be going to the sessions that people oppose of, and I'd be more than happy to go and provide a safe space if that's needed. So I guess that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else at this point?
I'm sitting back here and I'm just kind of fuming.
Grab that microphone.
I guess, my name is Richard Ellis, I live at 28 Riding Club Road. And I guess my question would be, would these people feel the same way if you had rented the hall over Keys Lane for the same class? That's also owned by the county, or by the town. It's a function of the town. The library is a function of the town. And I just can't understand how people can bring something like that to a meeting and beat down a project that's in the town that serves everybody in the town. And I just can't understand it, and that's the way that's a problem with our country today.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else at this point?
I'm sorry. I was actually.
We're putting them speed humps in now. I promise you.
The town library is the absolute heart of our community. There is no place that is more welcome than when you walk in and you see Sarah and her librarians. They will bend over backwards and do anything for anyone and make you feel good and have a conversation. People meet and have friends. I've had my kids' passports done there. We've done gardening clubs. There is literally something for everyone. I didn't feel like I needed to go to the senior scam thing, but I'm so glad you offered it. And I'm not here to say, oh shoot, don't do it. Just don't go to it if you don't want to. There is something for everyone. And listening to the amount of money that our librarians are paid, that you itemize, I can't believe we don't pay you guys more. We need to give them a huge raise, especially after the hassle that they've just been through. And the amount of programs that you guys do, we really should be looking at funding the library, maybe making it bigger so we can all fit in. We're really tight in there for so many programs, which is wonderful because we're all friends. But this is crazy. Sorry. You guys are great in every single way. Thank you for everything you do, always. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Come on up. We gotta go on an executive session here pretty soon, so.
About what topic? Connie Boy's too short, has to street. Two things. Speed humps, yes, I live.
What's that? I'm sorry.
The speed humps, I can't wait for them enough, but no, I'm more about the library. I cannot tell you how many programs I've gone to the library. I get a driver's, where you know, driver, whatever it is.
Driver ed, or for defensive driving.
I've done yoga, I've done the PT things, I've done educational things, and I've done knitting. Those things are important, especially for a lot of us who live alone. The camaraderie that happens at the knitting group and the sharing with one another. It's special. We become friends. And I think that the library is a place where people are welcome. And I think that I can't say thank you enough to say. And this.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else at this point?
Mary Beth Bruno, 102 Lumex Run. I'm gonna have another meeting, but we're all here and I appreciate
I
your
know.
time as you do ours.
That's why I try to run a business real
Well, I
quick.
think we should meet more often then, so we could.
You can.
Okay.
My problem is, once I get out, I'm out, so I just don't stay all night, so, but
I want to
you
say
guys
something
might not
as-
agree with that, so.
As a taxpayer, I'm 100% supportive of the library being on through lights, through heat, through air conditioning, to serve whatever group they serve. It's unfortunate that there's hate in the community that's still trading into our meetings. We need to share the love, and there are no boundaries with love, so I just want to express that. I'm actually here to talk about traffic, and we had a big, important meeting last night. It was extremely well done, professional, filled with data. And I appreciate that Mr. Sipperly was there, and I wanted to ask that, will you be reporting to the rest of the board as to what happened last night, in addition to what Kim said?
She did a pretty darn good job. But
Well, as a member of the
Be happy
town
to fill any
council,
holes. Yeah.
and she did an excellent job. And Mary Ellen Adams, Jim, and Jen Man, outstanding. I wish you were there. But I would really appreciate it if you, as a representative, did inform them as well. So I'm sure your perspective was different. But I wanted to just give one fact or one opinion you have stated repeatedly, that you're taking care of the other part of Brunswick, that the corridor is just one piece of it. There was a density map reviewed last night, and based on those facts of that, our population is 12,000 in the town of Brunswick, and there are 10,000 people who are impacted directly by Hoosick Road along the corridor, all of those side streets. So indeed, Hoosick Street affects everybody, if not all of the town.
Never met it didn't affect everybody.
And also I learned last night that there's a apartment complex coming in off of Betts Road, an additional 200 units.
Haven't heard that.
Haven't heard that? Would you speak to them? Is that not
It
true?
was mentioned last night, and they said the same thing. I think this is
It's not
premature.
There was a project that was approved years and years and years and years ago.
It was included in the CRTC study data, so it's something directly from CRTC. So it came from the it came from the planning board, I believe.
Well, that project was approved years and years, but in the meantime, under certain conditions, and I'm not the attorneys, but they can't meet those conditions that we had before, so and no, Lowe's is not coming. I hear that all the time. I mean, all these stories, you know.
Well, there's.
And I don't do Facebook for a reason. It was proven tonight. I was just trying to protect my secretary from phone calls here. So you gotta love these rumors. Go ahead.
There were no rumors last night, I can assure you.
No rumors?
No rumors at all. I just wanted to commend the people who put that together and their preparations and the information that they shared. It was well attended.
Excellent.
Everyone in the room had their hand raised, if not, everyone had their hand raised to have a comment or a question or a suggestion. I thought it was very productive, and I hope that they do it again. Thank you.
Anybody else?
A very quick comment.
Okay, come on up.
Very good. Lisa Schneider, 684 Primrose Avenue, forgot where I live for a second. Actually, this isn't even a comment, just an observation that, and this is just an observation from this evening. When this gentleman was speaking, there was absolutely no interruptions to him at all. When Kim was speaking, when other people were speaking, there were interruptions. It's just my observation. I'm not quite sure why, and I'm not even asking for an answer. I'm just making that observation. Thank you very much.
It's true.
Did I interrupt you?
All the time.
I probably
I'm used to
do.
it by now, so that's why I said let me finish.
My wife tells me that all the time, but I listen to her 100%, trust me. So I apologize if I interrupted somebody. I don't mean to do that. But I have a habit of trying to address the point And Mr. Wolf, I had a whole statement that I wanted to read, so I didn't interrupt him because I wanted to wait until he went through everything to read it, so. I do interrupt, I try. Okay, anybody else at this point?
What is the purpose of the executive session? Personnel,
I'm gonna make a motion to go in executive session to discuss pending litigation. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay?